Hey, hello everyone. How are you? Hope you are doing good, with your family and with your work, and also with your studies online. Okay. So welcome to my third slide video presentation. And this slide video presentation, I'm going to present you how to define research problems, research objective, and research questions. Okay. So now let's go one by one. Alright, so research question and research problem. What is the research question and what is research problems? You have to understand before we go to the research problems. So you have to know about the foundation of how to formulate research problem. It is the most important step of conducting research is formulation of the research problems. It is like the foundation of a building to be constructed, and to solve a problem someone has to know about the problem. If you don't know, how can you go to find the answer? Okay, so that the problem identification and formulation is very important for the researcher before he or she conducts a research. And this is perhaps one of the most important or importantly difficult aspect of any research undertaking. The problem is stated in the opening passage of a study, and in effect, provides a reader a rational or reason for why the study is important or crucial, and why it is necessary to listeners and to readers. Okay. So at the right here, foundation of the research process, and it also begin, with the question. If you don't have the question, so the research problem does not appear. Okay. In order to conduct or formulate the research question, you have to start from curiosity. What something undoubtable or unsolved in your mind. So you have to create a question, and then you have to look at the information gaps in your field, in your area or research area, the research field. What is the gap that you want to look for, that you want to conduct research? Okay. Controversy, replication, and also you have to read the literature review, and also you can ask your supervisor and any experts in a research area for more idea. Okay, so this is the kind of conducting your research questions. Before that, you have to look at the three components that you should bear in mind. One is descriptive questions, relationship question, and different questions. Okay. How about the first descriptive questions? What does it mean by that? Okay, so this I'm going to give you the overall views of the descriptive question and then give you the example. This is how we look for phenomenon or situation or characteristic of a particular group of the subject matter that you want to study about, and answer the question with what is. Okay, so asking question of the research participant, testing or measuring their performance, and also start the survey research. So example with the descriptive question. So you can start with, what are the attitudes of rural parents toward the inclusion of sexuality education in the school curriculum? Here, based on the Welshmer and Harris 1994. That about the descriptive question, and here we call research questions. Okay. And next slide, the following slide, you are going to know how to conduct research question. Where should we conduct, or where do we conduct research question from? All right. Okay. Next, relationship question. You know the term relationship connection, right? Connection. So when you conduct the relationship question, you have to look at the something or valuable that that be relevant to each other. Okay. So these kinds of research question, you have to investigate how much degree to which two or more variables are associated with each other. Okay. My suggestion is that do not establish cause and effect questions. You have to identify clearly to what extent of relationship between both or more than two variables. Now look at example here. Is there an association between self-esteem and eating behavior among collegiate female swimmers? So that is FAHL 1998. Here is the one research question about the relationship questions. I think you might not understand this because you never done or you never conducted such a research before, right? So this is a components that we are going to study this course. Okay, before you have a formal research paper or research project, you have to start with how to formulate research problem, how to write the problem statement, how to write the research objective, how to write a research question, so on. Okay, that we are going to study. All right. And how about the different questions? So different questions you have to investigate in order to make the comparison between groups and groups. Okay, between groups and groups, between peoples and people, different places and places. And also here often relevant with the experimental research. When you go to the laboratory section, you have two items, two objects to do experiment. Okay, so that this is how to conduct or to design kinds of different research questions. You can see the example here. Does participation in social Olympics affect the self-esteem of adults with mental retardation? That is the major 1998. Okay, so you can see the effects. Okay, you want to the researcher want to compare self-esteem of adults with the mental retardation in the Special Olympics games. Okay. Next, so criteria for selecting a problem. One, you have to ask yourself that what interest are you going to conduct the research with? Okay, this is the most important for a researcher or new researcher start. And then you have to look at the something important like theoretical value, practical value, timeline, internal review. Okay, and next you have to look at the how can you manage your research time frame effectively, like time consuming or time allocation or material that you're going to select from, and also you have to discuss with the any expert or researchers in the field that you are going to conduct your research in. Next, that is how to write problem statements. So be careful, everyone. Your research proposal can be or cannot be accepted in terms of your research problem and also research statement, problem statements. Okay, it is very specific statement which you have to identify clearly the problems being studied. And also you have to identify the key variables as well as also give provide some information or data about the study limitation or study scopes. Okay, and it probably be in either the question or declarative questions that you have to form that. and also it may include the sub problems if appropriate. Okay. Why we should divide problem to sub problem? Because we want to look at the how we propose, how we design the sub problem, a sub issue. Okay, they're easy for us to look at um, uh, the quality of data collection. All right, and after that you have to design the statement of the problem. After after you know after you reading a lot of literature review or from the other sources. Okay, that's very important points for you. Now look at the how to start with your research problem statement. Normally the researcher always start with some keywords and key terms, so you have to highlight and take note when you write the research problems, research statement or problem statement, right? So number one, the problem was to investigate the effects of exercise on blood lipids among the college-age females. So look at the word investigate. Okay, investigate. This study was designed to determine the relationship between stability, performance, and physical growth characteristics of the preschool children. You can see the phrase was designed to. Okay, was designed to. Number three, the present study was designed to identify those characteristics which differentiate between students who drink and those that do not. Okay, that's so very important. The word used was designed. Okay, was designed or was to investigate. And also the problem of the study was to determine is there a relationship between a cell efficacy and a therapeutic alcohol usage among middle-aged adults females. Okay, so that is how to write a problem statement in the research. Okay, so you have to keep in mind the some phrase was to investigate, the problem the study was designed to, so on. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Shall move back. Okay. All right. So next, so concept of variable. What is a variable? Variable is a characteristic, trait, or attribute of a person or thing that can be classified or measured. So the key term that you can understand variable, classify and measure. Okay, classify and measure like attitude, gender, male or female, heart rate, high, low, medium, and hair color, black, blue, green, brown, so on. So that the kinds of the one variable. Okay, variable. And another one variable is the condition or characteristic which is a given study may have more than one value. Okay, more than value. All right. Here, this is the outline of your research project. The first one, you have to identify your research topic. What is your research topic? It can be a broad subject matter areas to investigate it in. For example, if you are working at education field, so you have to look at the research topic in low level or high level education. Okay, that you have to think about that. The researcher always think of the phenomenon or situation relevant to their fields. Why? Because here it is very crucial roadmap for the researcher in order to identify the outline of the research as a whole. Okay, and then move to the research problem. What is the problem that you are going to identify in your area or in your topic? Okay, if you cannot identify or conduct the research problem, it can be affect to your research purpose or research objective, and then you cannot design research questions. Okay, so here is a research purpose or research objective, like I mentioned earlier, here, research statement problem. Okay, so a statement of the intent or objective of your study. Okay, what is your purpose of the study? What is the purpose? What is the objective of your research? At least I suggest two more than one research objective should be conducted. Okay, should be conducted. And then research question. Okay, research question. So research question come from research objective. If you cannot identify clearly research objective, as the result, research question is also vague, is also unclear. All right. For example, if your research objective states that, so this study is designed to investigate techniques, effective techniques of teaching grammar. Okay, teaching grammar in, for example, in grade 9 or grade 12, so on. Okay, or year 1 student at university. So when you conduct a research question, you have to look at your research objective. Investigate effective techniques of teaching grammar. Okay, so that the keyword is effective technique. So the question is, so you can ask the question with descriptive research question. So you can say, what are effective, or what is effective technique suggested to teach grammar in blah blah blah. All right, so you can see the connection between research objective and research question. Effective technique and the research question, what is effective techniques of teaching grammar. That is so relate to each other. Okay, good. And research problem, research problem here, research topic, I explained you already. Research problem, a situation or circumstance that require a solution to be described, explained, and predicted. It is an unsatisfactory situation that wants you to deal with, okay, to face. Research problem, if there is a knowledge gap in an area you are working in that need to be investigated, the research problem identified is this gap. So you can also pick up the research topic from that point, okay, and you have to make your broad area of interest very simple. So otherwise you can come to conclusion your research problem. Okay, and here research statement or statement specify exactly what is being studied. That is research statement. Okay, so the research statement should include 6 elements. So the first element is information about the research topic that hook the study, that provoke the study, that make your study interest. And also the scope of the problem, like how many people are involved in your study, and how can you collect the data from, and where do you choose the data, where do you collect the data. Okay, that is scope of the problem, and how many years, how many months, and how many weeks. Okay, how many weeks, how many months, and how many years. Okay, that you can set up the time frame for your research. And you have to answer the question why it's important to study the problem, and why is it important for you, for your society, for your field, for your environment, for so on. That you have to outline some significant points or key points for for you conducting your research. Okay. And next, the how nursing science would be influenced by the study and general characteristic of a population of interest, and the overall goals or aim of the study, or all the question to be answered. That is some the research statement that consists of these 6 elements. So again, one is information about the research topic, the scope of the problem, why it's important, and how your study influence, and also you have to identify the characteristic of the population of interest that you want to collect the data from, and also you have to write the general goal or general aims of the study in order to come to the research questions, and we can provide the solution to the research problems. Okay. So this is an example of a research problem. Hazardous noise, a dangerous noise, is an important occupational health problem because it leads to hearing loss and may lead to increased stress and the other deleterious physiological effects. So more than blah blah blah, more than 30 million workers are exposed to hazardous noise on the job, blah blah blah. Use of the hearing protection devices, specifically earplug, is known to reduce noise exposure and prevent noise, reducing hearing loss. There are, however, relatively few investigators who have examined factors related to loss use of the hearing protection by the worker. So you can see the research problem. What is the research problem? That is about the hazardous noise in the working environment, and some the suggestion or solution that the use of the hearing protection devices like the earphones so on, can reduce noise exposure and prevent noise. And also that the red color here mean that the researchers have proposed the solution to the problem hazardous noise. Okay. How about the research objective? It is the important aim or goal expected to be accomplished. Without the research objective, you cannot go to the research problem by asking the question. You have to ask many questions. You have to be curious in your mind. Why the problem is being studied? Why the problem is being studied? Why you choose Why you choose this topic? Why so on? So you have to answer the question. Why? Okay. Example of the purpose statement. The purpose of this statement is to examine, or you can say is conducted to examine. Okay, like I show you about the slide. The purpose of this study is to examine the relationship between nurse job certifications and tendencies to leave. That is the purpose. So what is the research question with that? Okay, yeah. So you can say, what is the relationship between nurses certification and tendency to leave? That you can start with the research questions. All right. So that's all for the slide presentation today. And you got any questions? All right. So please write me your question in your group. Okay, in your group, and I'm going to answer. Or we can discuss. Discuss more when we have a Zoom video conference. Okay. So thank you very much for taking your time, and I hope you can do this, but all your best. Because this next week we are going to have the unit exams, and I combine together week 1, week 2. Okay, so don't forget. I'm sorry for any inconvenience with the e-learning or online study. So thank you very much. Good luck. Have a nice day. See you all.